Today I want to share 6 simple features that make me work much faster in Cubase than I do in Logic. Many of you have noticed that I used to work in Logic and then suddenly changed to Cubase. And the reason is productivity. You can make the same music in both DAWs, but Cubase really has some features that increases productivity. Whether these features are relevant for you depends on the type of music you're making and your workflow. But I believe most of these features are really useful to any type of music producer out there. Okay, now we see Cubase here. And the first and most simple feature I want to show you with you is a simple navigation feature. It's the zoom function. You can hold down commands on Mac and then you can just scroll in and out and you will zoom in wherever your cursor is. So it's very easy to zoom in here and then here and scroll back and forth like this. This is a crucial thing because this is not possible in Logic, at least to my knowledge. If we open the project in Logic here and we can hold down the Option button and then zoom in and out like this. The issue here in Logic is that we are zooming in and out around the playhead. So if I want to zoom in here, then I have to go up here, place the playhead, then zoom in. And then if I want to zoom in here, I need to place the playhead again, zoom in. And that is really not very convenient. So that simple feature, just the navigation around Cubase, simply makes me work much faster already there. So when it comes to editing MIDI files, I really also think Cubase is superior to Logic. The simple feature I'm going to talk about right now is just the feature of having multiple automation panes down here. In this case, I can see both velocities and I can see the sustain pedal. If we go into Logic and open a MIDI file down here, then I need to show automation like this. And now I can only see the sustain pedal. I don't have an option to show multiple automation panes. I can shuffle between them, but I cannot see them at the same time. It means that if I'm adjusting the velocity, then I have to adjust the sustain pedal. Then I have to go here, switch it, and then adjust the sustain pedal, then switch it back. Not very convenient if you ask me. So a little simple feature, again, that makes me work faster in Cubase. Okay, so another simple feature in Cubase, it's not directly related to like productivity, but I really think it does affect productivity anyway, is that if you start playing on top of a note like this, this is a string sound, then if we start to play here, we will actually hear the notes starting from here. In Logic, whenever you start on top of a note, you will not hear it until the note changes. So in this case, we would not hear any sound. Actually, we would not hear this top note here before we get over here where it does play again. So then we always have to play from the beginning of these notes. And that is also extremely annoying if you ask me. I want to show you in Logic here. So this is how it sounds. But if we start to play the track from here, then no strings, and we will not even hear the highest note here because it doesn't really start again. It's the only place it starts is over here. So each time we have to listen to this first bar, we have to listen from over here if we want to hear all tracks at the same time. So again, a simple feature, but it really affects your workflow and how fast you're able to work. So an extremely useful feature for me in Cubase is their tempo editing adjustment features. And this may not be relevant to all, but it's highly relevant to me, and I want to show exactly what I mean. So I rarely record with the metronome turned on because I like to just record freely. So whenever I record something, I just record it in like this. Okay, so this is usually how I will record. Now to the tempo editing features. So this is like a bunch of features actually that to my knowledge is not available in Logic. First of all, if we select this main cursor here, we can, by typing 1, edit it. This one down here, sizing applies time stretch. This is an extremely easy way to time stretch your MIDI recording. So if we drag it, it simply just got slower, and we can drag it faster. This is something you can do to easily adjust the tempo of your MIDI file without dealing with the tempo track up here. So in order to fit your track to the grid here without using the metronome, you can always also open your MIDI recording like this, and then choose the time warp feature here. What this does is that you can simply take the bar, the grid lines here, and you can move them around, and you can simply align them to your MIDI files like this. Oh, that was wrong. Do like this. Then when you go out of this, your tempo has changed like this, but now you have a MIDI file which is actually synchronized to your grid. And this is an extremely nice feature. Right now, the MIDI file will sound a bit faster because we moved the grid, but if we make sure this setting is toggled so we see the note here, then these notes will not move relative to the grid. Then we can just delete the tempo information and it will sound a bit slower again. And the reason this is so extremely useful to be able to so easily align your MIDI recording with the grid is when you have to combine your piano track with other tracks, like I did in this composition, because then I record in my piano track, I align everything to the grid, and then afterwards I can just produce my strings tracks here digitally, just using the grid. Then I know each bar what is going on, and I can quantize the notes, and that is extremely useful instead of just having like this fluent recording where there's not really any grid lines. You don't know where a bar begins and where it ends. So this is extremely useful. This is actually one of the main reasons I got completely convinced that I wanted to change to Cubase. Okay, now let me just talk a little bit about the possibilities in Logic, because there are some possibilities. And this is the smart tempo feature here. So this is the MIDI file I showed you before. If we click smart tempo, we can click analyze, and we can now, it's quite similar to what we saw in Cubase. We can adjust these bar lines here, and then we need to click apply at some point. I don't really remember what that is. But when we do that, Logic will update the tempo information here such that your MIDI file is actually aligned with the grid. The only issue is that it's kind of not easy to go back and remake things and make fine adjustments, and often it doesn't really work so well. So the way they created this feature in Cubase is simply much better for me. Another feature in Cubase related to this that is not available in Logic is the feature to either make your track stick to the bar grid or lock it in like an audio perspective way. And what I mean by that, if you have a MIDI track and you have this note toggled here, then if you change the tempo of your track, the notes will not move relative to the bar grid, but that will mean that everything will be played much faster. If instead we toggle this, so we have the audio symbol, then it will sound the same no matter what we do to the tempo bar here. This will always sound the same. So if we move this, this just becomes longer, but it sounds the same. This is a nice feature if you made a recording that you want to synchronize with video, because if you put this setting on, then you're quite sure that you will not like ruin any tempo editing stuff. You will always be able to synchronize this MIDI file with the video, because no matter what you do to the tempo editor here, it will be played back with the same speed. This function is not available at all in Logic to my knowledge. Okay, so the last simple feature I want to talk about is this one. So in Cubase, I've made a shortcut such that I can click Shift F, and then this selects all the following notes in that MIDI file, and then I can move them. And this is quite easy because when I make a recording, there's often a lot of breaks and mistakes. And then I just take out those notes, and then I need to move everything in place, and then I have a useful recording left. This feature is also available in Logic, but the problem in Logic is that first of all, I have to select a note, and then I can click Shift F. Then it selects all the notes. But now see, when I move this, the sustain pedal here does not follow along. I don't know why that is. It's extremely annoying. It means that I have to select the sustain pedal and adjust that accordingly afterwards. And then suddenly it takes twice the time as it does in Cubase. So once again, a simple feature. So yeah, just takes twice as much time in Logic as it does in Cubase. So guys, thanks for watching these Cubase features inputs. If I'm just lacking some knowledge about the features in Logic, please let us all know in the comments so we can be more clever on Logic. But in my opinion, Cubase is really nice when it comes to productivity. I also love to work in Logic, no bad words about Logic. But I just don't understand why some of these simple features is not available. But they will probably be available soon in some updates, who knows. And then Logic is completely on track with Cubase. Thanks for watching, and any questions you may have, please post them in the comments, and then I look forward to see you in the next video.